Welcome to the Phoenix walkthrough video. Once you get your login details for Phoenix, you will go to the Phoenix website and enter the credentials that we have sent you. When you log in, you will see your project and you can click on it to enter. And then in your project you will see an overview which gives you some general information about Phoenix and also provides a link to the Phoenix manual. So if you click the link to the Phoenix manual, it will take you to this page where you have a number of different parts of information about the different sections of Phoenix. In your actual project, you will also see an overview of the credits that you have allocated for this project and how many you have used so far. And in order to learn more about credits, you can go to that section of the Phoenix manual. And then it has the different sections of Phoenix with its different options, so gather, classify, and explore. The About page simply gives you some general information about your project, including at what point your data will be deleted for compliance reasons. And the Help button links to the Phoenix manual again. Now let's go through each of Gather, Classify, and Explore. In the Gather section is where you can create the different ways of collecting data from social media. So if I click on creating a gather, it's going to give me the different options by platform and then different options for each platform. So Facebook posts from a list of accounts or from a list of keywords, or Facebook comments from a list of Facebook posts. If I scroll down, it gives me all the other options that are available. For now, we're just going to try out Facebook posts from a list of accounts. I'm going to give my gather a name, so I'm just going to call it First Gather of Facebook Posts. And then I'm going to select a date, so maybe I'll select November 1st up until now. I'm going to say how many posts maximum I want from each account, and I'll say 1,000 maximum for each account. And then I need to post the Facebook accounts, which I've already prepared over here. So we're going to gather posts from the build-up page, and we're going to gather posts from the climate conflict action page. So now that I have these here, I say save the gather. It's going to successfully create the gather, and then I'm going to run it by clicking the play button. So it's saying, okay, this is what you're going to do. Are you sure you want to do it? And I'm going to run it. This will continue to spin until the gather is completed. Right now it says that it's in the queue. So in the meantime, we're going to look at the classify. Now, classify won't be available until you have actually gathered some data. Classifiers do not collect data. What they do is they add a label to data that you have already gathered. If I want to create a classifier, I'm going to get three options. I can create a classifier for post authors, for keywords in the text, or I can use Perspective API. For this walkthrough, we're just going to look at the first two, and we're going to create some simple classifiers. I'll start with a keyword text classifier, which basically adds classes to posts or comments when the text contains certain keywords. So I'm going to call this my topics classifier, and I'm going to say testing how to classify topics. And I'm going to make one of the classes that I want to create is going to be called radio program, because I want to find Facebook posts that talk about a radio program, and this I'm going to say the description is find radio program posts. This is just for my own information. The description doesn't really do anything. And then I'm going to do another one that is called conference, and I'm not even going to give it a description. And then I'm going to do another one that is called technology. So I'm going to create these classes, and now that I have created them, I can start adding keywords to each of them. So I can say, okay, for radio program, what I want to find is I know that CCAA, the Conflict Climate Action, which is the organization whose Facebook page I have I have scraped have a radio program called Acción Alerto. And so I'm going to take this and put it in the keyword section. So I want any post that mentions Acción Alerto to be classified as radio program. And then on conference, I want anything that mentions, we run a conference called Build Peace, so I'm going to say anything that mentions Build Peace, but those two words can mean a lot of things, so I'm going to put them in quotation marks because I want to make sure that they appear in that order. This one here will pick up anything that mentions Acción and Alerto in whatever order. This one here will only pick up things that say Build Peace in that order. I also want, I know that we very often use a hashtag for Build Peace, and that this year in particular we used a hashtag that said Build Peace 2024. So any post that mentions any of these things will be classed as conference. And then I want to know what posts we mentioned technology in. So I'm going to say technology, but I also want just tech, and then I also want AI, and maybe I'll leave it at that. Maybe I can add other keywords later. So now I'm going to save everything, and then I'm going to say finish and view the classifier. Now it's saying my classifier hasn't been applied yet, and I'm not going to apply it just yet because first I want to see what my data looks like. So I'm going to go back to my project and look at my gather. Aha, okay, it has completed successfully and I have collected 44 posts. So now I can go to classify and I can say, okay, I would like to run this classifier. If I run and apply the classifier, then the labels that I just defined will be added to the data I have collected. So I'm going to run and apply this classifier. Now you can see it's still in the queue. So while it does that, we're going to create another classifier. I'm going to create a post-author classifier. So I'm going to say this is my post-authors test. And here I'm going to say I'm just testing. And the class name I'm going to have build and the class description I'm just going to say this is just a test. So now it's going to say, oh, okay, you've actually only collected posts from this author called Climate and Conflict Action. So do you want to add a class to this one? And I'm going to say, well, that's not really built up, so I don't want to add a class to this one. So no, I'm not going to add this classifier. So I'm going to finish and view the classifier, but I'm not going to apply this one because it didn't work out so well for me. So you can test different things out, and if it's not what you were looking for or what you need to do, there's no need to run it. So I'm not running this one, but I have completed this one successfully. Now I want to look at the data that I have gathered. So I'm going to go to Explore. In the coming weeks, we'll be adding a search bar here. But for now, the only way to explore your data is to go to a dashboard. This dashboard is now showing me all of the data that I have collected. So I have collected 44 posts, and this is how they looked over the days when I collected. I haven't collected any comments because we didn't do that. I can also look at the engagement on those posts. So what did it look like in terms of likes and shares? So these are the posts ordered by likes and shares. And I can look at this table. There's no comments because we didn't gather any. I can also look at some graphs. So I can look at the posts by class. So there were quite a lot of posts that were about Acción Alerto, the radio program, a few that mentioned technology, and a few that mentioned the Build Peace conference. I can also look at which posts had the most likes. Looks like that actually the posts about technology had a lot of likes. So there may have been few posts, but they had quite a lot of likes. In author classes, it's not going to show me anything because we didn't really apply any author classes. It's just going to show me the top author, and there's only one author because that's the only one that I collected any data from. I can also use the filters over here to filter for different things. So for example, if I want to look at the posts that were classified as technology, then I can apply this filter and it's going to filter this table to just show me posts that were about technology. If I go here, the same filter is applied, so now I'm only seeing technology here. Once I'm done exploring my data, I can come back here and I can add more data by creating new gathers, or I can add or change my classifications in this tab, or I can continue exploring my data by going back to my dashboard. Hopefully that's a useful walkthrough. This is obviously very simple because we have only looked at the basic options in Gather and Classify, and there are a lot more options available to you. To get a full idea of all the options that are available, we recommend that you read the Phoenix manual, where it explains all of the Gather options. It also explains all the different options for Classify. If you still have any questions after you have read all of the manual, then there are contact details in the manual, so you can reach out to us to ask us any questions. Thank you.